conceptually, I think I would prefer the circles. But because we are in Minecraft, this one that I'm looking at right now, this actually ends up looking. Wait a minute. No. It's gonna be different on the diagonal because this is straight on. It's gonna be a different effect on the diagonal, isn't it? It is. It's not gonna be straight like that. Oh crap! On the diagonal, you still get lines, but the lines will still be along the cubes. So you end up having diagonal lines across the other two petals, wouldn't you? Yeah, you would. It would still be along the x and y axis, but the petal goes that way, and then the lines would just kind of crisscross. That would be weird. Okay. Now it tips this decision in the other favor, because we're trying to create this thing that is, we're trying to use cubes to create something that's not cubes. Remember how we're doing this because we want circles and triangles, right? And crazy complex curves. But if we do this here, we'll end up with this kind of crisscrossing pattern that distracts from the triangles and circles and kind of reimposes the square grid back on here, because the artifacts will form these straight lines that diagonally cut across the petal now. In that case, we would choose the circles, which has fewer artifacts, even though you end up. I mean, there's a bit like there's that. You can see how there. You see that there as well. So you get the similar effect, in fact, even on that side, just because of the way the circles work. So you get, like, between there and there, you get the artifacts of straight lines kind of cutting across the shape. But beyond that, you very quickly go into this kind of really, there's no pattern there, or there's no obvious pattern there. So you get a little bit of artifact there, and then no patterns. Okay. So to kind of avoid the tyranny of the square, taking over my project again, even though we've spent so much time breaking out of it with our triangles and circles. So to avoid that, we would have to choose the circular pattern to avoid those artifacts, wouldn't we? Right? Right. And this is what I mean, like when I say, if you prefer one and you have a reason for preferring one over the other, this is kind of what I mean. Like, you don't just go with the gut feeling. Although, often people just go with their gut feelings. I think it's more worthwhile. I'm pretty sure it's more worthwhile if you actually spend the time to really think about what it is you're looking at and why you might do something one way and not the other way. I really think it's worthwhile to do that. It's more valuable than just your gut feeling. I'm not saying your gut feeling is not valuable, but I mean, your gut feeling is kind of easy. It's quick and easy, right? Whereas if you think about things as well, then you have both. You have both your gut feeling and your, detailed, rational decision making, and you have more information to go from. You're not just, going with your gut all the time. Sometimes you have to, but I mean, we're not in that position. We have plenty of time to just walk around and look at things. I'm trying to get to the top before I sleep, but I don't think I'm gonna make it. Alright, let's just get to the top before I sleep, and then we'll look at the two petals from the very top. They'll both look like circles, I think, from all the way at the top, because that's what they are in plan. There's a creeper on top of that line there, look at that. In fact, there's two creepers now. They've conquered my tower. Look at those guys. There's more guys over there too, more creepers. We have to be careful. By the time we get up there might be creepers up here as well. And then they'll explode, and then I'll get knocked off. That's actually a possibility, isn't it? Let's get the bow out. I'm just being really careful. built this giant staircase and I keep getting scared that I'll fall down. Nope, no creepers there. I don't see any. Nope. Okay, no creepers. Good. All right, let's get to sleep. No sleeping at the height limit. Okay. No sleeping at the height limit. Alright, let's do that. Alright, so from top, there's the circular one, and there's the flat one. They look almost the same. I mean, they're both circles. The outline of it, they're both circles. And they're pretty much the same from up here. Again, like when it's made out of glass, you won't see that quite the same way. I mean, you can kind of see that's flatter and then that's more curly. Alright, so that's my reasoning for why I prefer... I think I have decided that I prefer the circular one. Because of the fact that the cubes in Minecraft will create these lines across these shapes if I made them all the same radius. I'm pretty sure, I'm trying to explain it again, but you just saw it, so I'm pretty sure you can just see it without me trying to explain how that works to you. I'm pretty sure you just saw it. So yeah, so I think I prefer the circular one, but you know, again, if you prefer one or the other, or if you have any opinions, by all means leave a comment. I need to figure out what I want to do next. I'll think of something. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, so I just spent a little bit of time thinking about this, and actually I was wrong. Oh, we can't see it from here. I was wrong about the artifacts, or like one of the artifacts is when you try to fit cubes into a curve, you get these kind of bumpy bits and these lines. I actually got it wrong. It's not actually going to highlight the square. It's actually going to, because the reason these lines are in this direction is because I've stacked the curves in this direction. If I stack the curves diagonally, then these lines are also going to be diagonal. So they won't actually emphasize the square, they actually emphasize the triangle. Whereas, in fact, the circular one, it's got the artifacts here because all the circles, they have this bit, you know, on where it kind of where it's at the four, you know, cardinal directions. So in fact, there's going to be less, or the artifacts are going to emphasize the square more in the circular one than in the flat one. In the flat one, there's actually going to emphasize the triangle. So, I mean, it's still going to be mostly circle. The circular one is still going to be mostly circle, but the flat one is going to be more triangle. It's not gonna be a problem with the artifacts of the cubing. You know, being that's not going to be a problem actually. It's going to be because these lines, they're gonna be in this direction instead. Now the lines are not going to line up. Well, it's not going to be like here. It's symmetrical because it's the circles or the arcs are symmetrical around there. Here it's not going to be symmetrical around that line. So it's not going to be the same on either side. So it's going to be a little bit funny that way. But it will form lines or in that direction or diagonally that way. So that might actually be preferable to the circle thing. I don't know how many of you guys actually caught that as I was talking about it. Maybe some of you actually figured it out. But I kind of just, you know, stopped recording, and then after a while I thought about it a bit more, and then I thought, hey, wait a minute, it's not actually correct. Okay, so that changes my decision a little bit. I think if that's the case, I might prefer the flat one. I mean, looking at it from this angle, it doesn't even matter, because from a distance it doesn't actually make very much difference at all. But I'm thinking maybe I prefer the lines, maybe? If I use a circular one, or maybe I don't. I don't know. I don't know, like what do you guys think? Looking at it from up here, it really doesn't make any difference, does it? Doesn't make very much difference, at least. Let's go down again and have another look. As I slowly and mostly carefully step down and try not to fall to my death. I've still only died once on the construction of this thing, but we've still got a long way to go, so we can keep a count on that one. So far only once. But it'll probably happen more as I get further up, because you know these lower petals, they're close enough to the ground where if I fall I don't necessarily die. Where if I'm up there, obviously if I fall off I'll die. Unless feather falling 4. Maybe they should make that more powerful, because even though the height limit's quite high, if you're all the way up to the top, shouldn't they make one where, you know, at the highest possible enchantment you don't actually die if you fall from the top? Never mind. So from here, like we're still far enough away that no, there's still like this is awkward. See that there compared to that there, that's a little bit awkward. The fact that it's not symmetrical, or like the pattern like is kind of like fish scales here, and there's like a clear rectangle there, and then there's clouds in the way. But it's a bit awkward. The circles. Not again. It's not the concept, not the idea, not the shape, but the fact that we have to build the shape out of cubes and the artifacts created by approximating curves with cubes. That's the part that's awkward. I mean, if it was just a smooth curve, then it wouldn't. Stupid cloud. Just a smooth curve, then it wouldn't be a problem at all. It's the fact that there's cubes everywhere. See, that's a bit weird, isn't it? That there and then that there. Whereas if I do the flat one, it still won't be symmetrical. But there'll be lines. I don't know if that's any better or not. Actually, hold on. Let me just go to my bitmap, my drawing, and just have a look at the circle at that angle. Yeah, it'll be similar. Yeah, there'll be a similar problem where on this side it'll be more like that, and on that side it'll be more like that. It's still going to be that problem, except you know it's going to. In fact, it's going to be more pronounced because, you know, with the largest with this radius circle, like the flat bit's going to be that wide. So it's going to be the flat bit's going to be even wider than this. It's going to be like that wide. And then on this side it'll be more like that, except it'll form lines going that way. It'll be even worse. I don't know. I can't decide. I can't decide which one's better. I guess that's it's not a big problem. And here, the artifact will be less pronounced. If I do the curve here, it'll be less pronounced because, or it'll kind of spread outwards. If you can imagine that. So it'll be like this there, right? So it'll be like, actually it'll be significantly less pronounced, the artifacts. Like these lines, like there'll be one in the middle, and then as you kind of curve out, it'll become this stuff. Yeah, it'll be significantly less pronounced if I use the circles there as well. So yeah, so I think I think I prefer the circles then, just because you know, there is that bit there. But all the other bits are, you know, they're not. It's not obviously. And you can't really see the cubes very much. I mean, you can see the cubes, but you can't really. That doesn't form a pattern. doesn't form a very clear pattern as in there the cubes form a really clear pattern of, you know, lines going up. So yeah, I think I prefer the circles just for fewer artifacts, and the shape is also more interesting. Like the shape is more complex. It's a little bit flat there. I don't think there's any reason. I don't think there's any good reason to have it that flat. I mean, you're thinking like, why is there a reason for it to be curved? Like when it, as I said earlier, like when it's curved, like when it's a full circle, then everything focuses in the middle of the circle, which is kind of what I want this tower to be. Like it's a circular. The whole thing was circular in design, and it's designed to be the center of the new expansion. Like it's in the very middle of everything. So I wanna. Now the point is to focus on the center. This is the tower. So the circle does that better than the flat one. Whereas the flat one, it's like a. It seems like it's facing a certain way. Like, you know, there's a front and the back sort of. Does that make sense? Like it's facing this way. So that's why when I stand here, it seems to make more sense when I'm standing here because I'm facing this petal. But the fact that there's 3 petals kind of changes that. If there's only one, you know, thing, if there's only one thing, so imagine if all the rest of the tower is not even here, and I'm just building, you know, one curving shape, then this is kind of impressive, but it only faces one way. Well, I mean, the curve also faces one way, but this kind of all curves in the middle. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm making sense or not. I don't think I'm actually making sense. Let's just say I feel like that's more appropriate for what this tower represents, which is the center of something, and the circle focuses on the center better than the flat bit. That's kind of what I'm saying, basically, if that makes sense. Okay, so I think that's enough rambling from me. Yeah, so if you caught any other mistakes, maybe I've made even more mistakes and I haven't really noticed it. So if you catch any more mistakes, feel free to leave that in the comments as well. We are in this journey together, kind of, except I'm doing all the work and you guys are just watching, so maybe we're not in this together. But you know, if you've got ideas, feel free to leave it in the comments. It's always interesting to discuss. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next video.